What's up guys, it's Will back again, and today's review is The Dark Tower. The Dark Tower is a fantasy action adventure film that was directed by Nikolaj Arcel and is based on the book series written by Stephen King that started in 1988. The Dark Tower takes place in modern day and primarily follows Jake Chambers, played by Tom Taylor, who has visions of a man in black who seeks to destroy the world. That man in black is played by Matthew McConaughey, and he's an evil sorcerer who is trying to destroy a tower that magically keeps darkness from spreading across multiple worlds, including Earth. However, the man in black has an arch enemy known as the Gunslingers, particularly a man by the name of Roland, played by Idris Elba. Roland eventually meets up with Jake, and the rest of the film is spent watching the two attempt to defeat the evil and powerful man in black who seeks to spread darkness throughout Earth and other worlds in the universe. Okay, so honestly, The Dark Tower was a movie that I thought was gonna suck. I thought it was gonna suck because I saw the original trailer, and I thought this looked like a film that didn't know what it wanted to be. It looked like it was going through an identity crisis, and it looked like a film that suffered from significant studio interference. And I read at least one report that stated that The Dark Tower was a complete disaster behind the scenes, with Stephen King having veto power over a lot of the film and two studios being involved, and just as the quote says from this article, too many cooks in the kitchen. This was obvious even from the initial trailer because I felt like The Dark Tower was trying to be fantasy, it was trying to be western, it was trying to be action, and it was even trying to be horror thriller in a way. And when you're trying to be all these things at once, these often conflicting approaches can clash and create a very frustrating experience for the audience. It's almost as if whoever got the final say tried to check off all the boxes for summer box office popcorn flicks from all the genres I just listed. And what this actually amounts to is an experience that is incredibly underwhelming and frustrating even because nothing makes any sense and nothing feels earned from these characters. The turmoil behind the scenes is so evident because the final product feels so disjointed. I mean, I guess that's what happens when you push the release date of a film back 3 times. The best word to describe this film is dysfunctional. I find it crazy that this movie is only an hour and a half long because I still found myself in the theater checking the time on my phone very frequently. There's nothing about any of these characters that's all that interesting because none of them are developed at anything close to a satisfying level. You know so little about the 3 main characters in this film that you can't possibly get invested in them. They're all progressed so minimally and in such a cliche, almost business-like fashion that lacks any intimacy whatsoever. It almost feels like you're watching a TV show on Lifetime or something. And like I said, the story doesn't make any sense whatsoever, and there is absolutely no pace to this movie at all. It's so difficult to follow the characters' actual goals in specific moments because they just feel like they're aimlessly wandering from plot point to plot point. The only thing that's ever truly made clear is the man in black is bad and the gunslingers and Jake are good. That's about as deep as this film ever gets. In terms of the action, it's both a pro and a con. It's a pro because when you do get it, it looks nice, it's pretty exciting, and it's got a little bit of style to it. But it's also a con because you just don't get that much of it. There's really only like a few action scenes in this film, and the rest of the time is spent just walking around and talking, which is crazy considering how little character development takes place over the 90-minute runtime. I mean, I guess they were trying to play to their strengths and have Idris Elba and Matthew McConaughey carry this film to greatness, which is totally possible with these two amazing actors, but even they can't overcome how awful these characters are. There's nothing to them and they just have very little personality. They're written like generic cardboard cutouts, and there's only so much an actor can do to overcome that foundation. As I mentioned before, when a film tries to be too many things at once, it can end up being nothing at all. And that's sadly what happened to The Dark Tower. It fails as a fantasy film, it fails as a western, it fails as a horror thriller, and it fails as an action film because it just doesn't have enough action. There's just too much going on that makes it impossible for anything meaningful to go on. Not saying the mixing of genres can't be done, it 100% can be done, but mixing so many genres can only be done by the masterful. But overall, The Dark Tower is an extremely disappointing experience that I highly recommend you pass on. I did think it had a couple really cool action scenes, but that's about it for the pros. As for the cons, I thought the film lacked a true identity and a unified vision. There was no sense of pace or rhythm, the characters were weak, and the story lacked action and was boring. I'm gonna give The Dark Tower a 2 out of 10 and definitely recommend you pass on this one in theaters unless you love the books and you just absolutely have to see the movie. It's bad though, so I highly recommend you save your money. So did you guys see The Dark Tower yet? What did you think of it? And if not, let me know why not. And also let me know your favorite Stephen King adaptation. With it coming out soon, we're getting a head start on this discussion. That's all for now though. This is WillFoxification signing off. See you in the next review.